What's good, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm C.
I'm P.
And if you guys want to, I'm being too loud. Okay. If you guys want to give us video reactions, you can DM us on Instagram. Our link will be in the description. So today we're doing a video about how women and men perceive respect differently by this guy.
Tell me about it.
Let's begin.
I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is PsycHacks, Better Living Through Psychology.
Wait.
Dr. Orion Taraban?
I'm Dr. Orion.
They make noise. That's speak.
I'm Dr. Orion Taraban, and this is PsycHacks, Better Living Through Psychology. And the topic of today's short talk is respect means different things to men and women. So I'm going to be presenting this idea in the context of some feedback that I frequently receive from women, both in real life and on this very channel. I often hear them complaining about the fact that in their eyes, it seems like men don't really know what to do with them. They don't seem to take the initiative. They don't seem to lead the relationship. They might seem awkward or inept at sex and seduction, and they don't seem to pursue women with any sort of real purpose. I hear them say, "Where are all the men who know how to treat a woman?" It's a great question, and I can understand from a female's perspective how this would be a frustrating experience, so I'm here to help. I've given it some thought, and this episode is what I've come up with. Now, before I explain why this phenomenon might exist, please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It takes less than a second, costs you nothing, and it's how you can support me in my mission to deliver free, high-quality content to the world. Thanks for your help. Oh, and be sure to watch the end of the episode because I've saved the most important reason for last. Now, back to it. I think that this experience of women can be attributed largely, though not entirely, to different comprehensions of the idea of respect. Respect means something different to a man than to a woman. And this is something that we haven't really appreciated as a culture because it may create unintended consequences, such as the ones that we're discussing, when you tell men to respect women. This is something we drill into boys from a very young age. You have to respect women. You have to respect women. But respect might mean different things to men than it does to women. Let's look into this further. First of all, let me make very clear that I'm not advocating that anyone should be taught to disrespect women. I'm not saying that. That said, if you don't respect somebody, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're disrespecting them. For instance, just because you're not giving me respect doesn't mean that you're actively disrespecting me. You may just be feeling neutrally towards me. And as I've said in a previous episode, it's always best if people earn your respect and your disrespect. At the end of the day, I think it might be a better idea to teach boys that they shouldn't disrespect women. That would potentially create less of a problem here.
Okay, let's stop there. What do you think about the teaching boys to not disrespect instead of actually respect women? I know he's gonna go through it, but from what he just said, what are you thinking about it?
Well, it kind of makes sense to what he's saying. Like, I agree. He's basically saying that you have to earn respect, and not just respect, but disrespect, because sometimes people just feel neutral about you. They don't really feel any type of way. Maybe they're just meeting you for the first time or whatever the case may be. You can't automatically assume somebody is going to respect you like that.
I think this thing that they tell guys to do, boys to do, respect women. I think it creates a lot of like nice guys, which what most guys, if you're guys, you've been taught that be nice to people, be nice to girls, and as you guys know, nice guys finish last. So I think this narrative where be nice to women, where the woman feels like I haven't earned your respect, you automatically give it. That kind of puts the other person in like a lower stage than you, because if I feel like I earn your respect, then I can respect you too. Exactly. But if you just you just give me respect without me, like I'm just sitting down and you automatically
it also
respect
puts you on a pedestal.
That's what I'm saying. So automatically, if you give me respect without me doing anything, that's basically telling me that I am higher than you because I didn't earn it.
I'm just
So you
amazing.
automatically think you're lower than me. I think that's the reason why there's a lot of nice guys out there because they automatically they pedestalize women, or maybe they try to respect women, but to women it seems like they're being pedestalized. So that creates
It's like
that
they
kind of-
either go too far on the other ends of the spectrum. They're either like too nice or they become too douchey and they're not respectful enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you have to find that middle ground, which is why I like the idea of teaching them how not to be disrespectful. It's better than teaching them
So we automatically
to
respect.
automatically
Even
respect
the person
because
doesn't deserve respect.
then they'll be able to find that middle ground. I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah, I
me
think
personally.
it's my don't deserve respect. You shouldn't give them respect. If they don't deserve, or if they haven't earned it from you, you should be neutral. I like that way you said that. You should be neutral.
Yeah, because some
But
people
they
are
haven't-
just
they haven't earned
assholes or bitches. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Let's continue.
So, what's the issue? There are three, actually, and they relate to how men understand respect. So, what does respect mean to a man? First, respect means that I look up to you. There's an element of admiration to respect. It's not really possible to respect across, and it's certainly not possible to respect down. Remember, we're not talking about respect in the sense of basic human dignity. Men tend to associate respect with admiration of excellence. So, when a man respects a woman, he puts her on a pedestal. This tends to create a lot of difficulties in the courtship process. This is because it puts the woman in the position of the adored and the man in the position of the adorer. And this robs the woman of the opportunity to have the more emotional experience in the relationship. And if you want to know more about these terms, please check out my series on the balance of attraction. Links in the pinned comment below.
Real quick, what he just said was very good. I don't think about that much. How women are more comfortable in their femininity, right? And femininity is more emotional. So that's why I believe that for a guy, don't ever get in a relationship or definitely not marry a woman who's not madly in love with you, right? Because then it's too easy for the man. So let's say the man is in love with the woman and the woman don't love the man as much. It's too easy for the man to put the woman in a pedestal. And once that happens, the dynamic changes, and the woman leads the relationship. So I think in a relationship, the woman should always love the man more than the man love the woman, or at least it should be equal. The man should never love the woman more, because I'm telling you, it's gonna switch, and the man is gonna automatically submit to her because, oh my God, I love you so much, I'm gonna do anything you want, and that's like beta energy right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
was
because
good.
like for women, we say that it should be equal playing field and that a man should love and adore us. But in reality, when they get to that point where they're putting us on a pedestal and they're loving us too much, I guess I would say, when they acting, as most men say, simpish.
Yeah, simpish.
There we go. When they're acting like that, our attraction to them automatically goes down. And it's we may not even realize it. It's just innate.
It's
you know
biological.
What I mean?
It's
like we think that it shouldn't go down because you're treating us so nice and stuff like that. But like in nature, it automatically does.
It's
we can't even
subconscious.
help it. It's subconscious to us.
Don't listen to what a woman say. Listen to what a woman does. Okay.
And
'Cause they
watch
will-
their actions
Exactly.
more than their
What-
words.
what they do.
Because, and I'm not saying we say stuff but just because we're bullshitting. What we say we actually mean, but we don't realize that sometimes our inner consciousness that we don't really hear, that little voice down there, kind of takes control, and it actually ends up being opposite to what we're saying.
Yep. Continue.
Women are generally more emotional than men, and so they prefer to go to relationships to feel, to have emotional experiences. And they're going to feel much more if they're in the position of the adorer, not in the position of the adored. However, they are put there when men go out of their way to demonstrate their admiring respect. So that's one unintended consequence, that women might be going out with these men who put them on a pedestal, which in turn prevents women from feeling much with respect to these men.
I never thought about it that
Second,
way. It's crazy.
to the masculine mind, respect means deference. When you respect someone, you tend to defer to their judgment or expertise. You ultimately won't be making the decision because you acknowledge that the other person might be in a position to know better. Deference means humble submission. Tell me what you want and I'll make it happen. This might sound nice in theory, but in practice, it means that a man exercising deference isn't going to be making plans, setting up dates, making decisions, or driving the relationship. He's going to be deferring to what she wants to do because he's trying to show that he respects her. Do you see? And the third thing, the final
Before we go to the third thing, a lot of time, women love when a guy takes charge, right? Listen, we're gonna go here, we're there at this time. That's what we're doing, right? And women don't like men who don't take initiative, asking them where do you wanna go, what time do you want to go, right? You know what I mean? So that puts the woman in a masculine frame where she has to make the decisions. And a woman generally likes to defer that kind of stuff, especially dates, anything women take, they want to defer to the man. But if you pedestal as a woman or respect her, in a way, you're gonna always try to go somewhere she wants to go. And how do you make sure of that? You ask her, do you want to go here? Do you want to go here? So there, you're not in the leadership position. Like, if you're really, really like confident, doesn't matter where you take her. Be like, listen, we're going here, and I'm gonna make this fun for you. Even though you don't want to go there, I'm gonna make it fun. I think that's why women want.
And to be
leadership.
honest with you, women, a lot of guys I don't think realize this, women are making decisions constantly. They are constantly thinking and having to make decisions on a daily basis at work, with kids, with doing chores around the house, with figure out what to cook that week for dinner and all that stuff. We are always making decisions some point in our life. That's why we love the fact when men take control, because we're tired of making decisions. We don't want to make decisions when it comes to those things. We want our man to make those decisions, even if it's a small thing. Like, even if you're like, you know what, I don't have a lot of money, I don't want to take this girl out someplace crazy and stuff like that, but I don't know what to do for her. Doing something simple sometimes goes a long way. Taking a girl to the beach and just walking on the boardwalk. Taking her outside and saying, you know what, let's go chill by the pool today or something, and just sitting next to her, even though if you don't like swimming, you just sit next to her while she's by the pool and talk to her and stuff like that, and maybe bring a bottle of wine or something with you. Those small things is what women die for, which is why we always want the man to decide. You always wonder why women can't decide what they want to eat, because we don't want to decide anything. We want you to take it over, because all we do on a daily basis is make decisions, and we're tired. And when it comes to food, we are in the mood for everything. Like, we want like this from this restaurant and this from that restaurant, so we don't know where to go. So it makes it easier when you guys say, you know what, we're gonna go eat here and we're gonna go do this today. We love that, because now we can finally relax our mind and not have to think for once, you know?
I think you make a good point with the decisions thing. I think especially the more decisions a woman makes on a daily basis, the less she wants to make it at home. Like, for example, if the woman is like a CEO of a company, she's making decisions all day. She don't want to come home to her husband or a boyfriend and have to make more decisions. I think the more masculine the woman is, like if she's a CEO, she has to be masculine to be a CEO. The even more masculine the man has to be, because the man always has to be more masculine than the woman. Not always, in general, you know. So I think that's a good point. But even when you
take it down to basics, like even if the woman is working at like Walmart per se, they're always making decisions in their head, because we're overthinkers. So we're making decisions constantly, and we're overthinking things constantly. So to have that little break to come home to our partner, and our partner saying, you know what, today we're not gonna, you're not gonna cook. We're gonna go out to eat. I already know where we're gonna go, or we're gonna go take a walk somewhere and enjoy the sunlight because it's so beautiful today. That just makes us like swoon, you know.
All right, let's continue.
Thing that's tricky with respect. And the third thing, the final thing that's tricky with respect to the masculine mind, the thing that exerts an enormous influence on the phenomenon we're discussing here, is that it's very, very difficult for respect and sexuality to coexist at the same time. Think about it. In any situation where respect is socially expected, a graduation, a ceremony, a funeral, sex is completely inappropriate. Sexuality in these contexts would actually be disrespectful. Respect is not arousing. If anything, it nullifies the sexual impulse. Men think that they have to suppress their sexuality in order to be respectful, because we would never express our sexuality in any other situation that calls for respect. The upshot here is that you can't really respect someone and want to fuck them at the same time. A man can respect his woman, like as a person, but on some level, he has to be able to turn that off in the bedroom in order to fuck her.
Oh, this makes perfect sense. You know why? That's why women like bad boys. Because the bad boys don't show them respect. And that makes it easier for the sexual desires to happen. That's why a lot of women will actually marry like a simp, or like a husband who respects her, or he makes a lot of money, right? He will marry him for the protection, for the provision, right? But then she will go out in the streets and have sex with a bad boy or whatever, or Tyrone, or whatever, right? Because the man respects her so much, the sexual desire actually is so low that she needs someone who doesn't have that admiration of her. So she goes somewhere else. Oh man, that makes perfect sense. That's
to
crazy.
me, how I see it, I see it as that quote, you know, a lady in the street, a freak in the sheets. I feel like that quote is for both genders, even though it says a lady in the street, a freak in the streets. Women want that too. They want their husband.
The other way around. The lady in the streets, a freak in the sheets.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Lady,
a lady in the street, a freak in the sheets.
Okay, we can look at it back. Continue.
I swear I said that. But a woman wants that too. She wants to, when she's out in public, especially when she's among her peers, she wants her man to show respect and to show that, like, empowerment, like, you know, paying for the tab and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And then in the bedroom, I don't want you to respect me. I want you to rip my clothes off. I want you to be more animalistic. It's the same thing for women. That's what guys want to see in their women too. They don't want their women to be a hoe outside of the house. They want them to be respectful, dressed nice when they're out, when they're going out to dinner, maybe even with their boys and their boys' girlfriends or wives. They want them to be able to mingle, talk good about them. You know what I mean? And then in the bedroom, they want them to be a freak. They want them to do all those kinky ass shit. And
yeah, I got one more point to put this all
so
together,
like
right?
it kind of goes hand in hand, in my opinion.
I got a point to put this all together. Like, women like choking, right? BDSM, and like I said, you know, for guys to do it, you know, do it hard and all that. Rough, right? If you think about that, there's nothing respectful about that at all. Choking a woman and you know, doing it hard and all of that, like flipping her around and doing all that stuff.
There's
There's not respectful about that. So this makes perfect sense. In order for the sexual to arise, respect has to dip. Because there's some things that people do in the bedrooms, like there's no respect in that room at all, in that situation. But the woman loves it. That's the problem. That's the thing. It's crazy how when you think about it that way, it makes perfect sense.
That's why you have to be able to, when you go behind that bedroom door, you have to be able to flip that switch.
Turn that off. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you walk out of the house, you have to be able to flip that switch
back on.
And that's for both genders, men and women.
This guy's good. Let's continue.
Some level, he has to be able to turn that off in the bedroom in order to fuck her. It is what it is. And this seems to be true from the woman's perspective as well. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but when a woman is sexually satisfied, I don't think her primary emotional experience is that of feeling respected. Like, whoa, oh, you respected the shit out of me. It's not typically how it works in the bedroom. This means that for men, respect and assertive masculine sexuality are at odds with each other. This might not be a problem for women when it affects men that they're not attracted to. In fact, it's probably a benefit to them. However, when it affects men that they are attracted to, it can leave them feeling confused, frustrated, and disappointed. A man showing respect will not also be showing sexual intent. The two are mutually exclusive in a man's mind. So those are 3 ways that the idea of respect might be tripping men up with respect to dating women, and why women might experience a dearth of confident initiative coming from men in the sexual marketplace. I think that a better word to use here might be consideration. Women want their feelings and their preferences to be taken into account. But they typically still want the man to initiate contact, set up the date, make the plans, initiate sex, be assertive, and generally lead them in the direction of a desired relationship. Consideration influences, but it does not determine, what the man does, and this consideration can be expressed through self-initiated action. Hopefully that makes sense. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and thank you for listening.
Whoa, this guy's good. We definitely got to do some more of his videos, because that made so much sense. And another thing I want to say is that a lot of times the reason a woman might say she's not respected in a relationship is probably because the man is like too controlling. Where if a man, like for a man to be in charge of other decisions, it doesn't mean that he has to not take his wife or his girlfriend's opinions into account. When a decision has to be made, of course you talk to your partner about it. You talk to your wife, your girlfriend about it, right? But there must be an understanding that at the end of the day, if we disagree, I'm in charge of the final decision, right? But I think
or
a guy
find a middle ground.
Exactly. But I think a guy should always ask the girlfriend or the wife's, opinion on any matter that's going on, especially one that affects both of you guys. You know what I mean?
Household, yeah.
But you can't be like, hey, honey, what do you think? Whatever you want to do.
What should we do?
Yeah, exactly. What should we do? That's not how you go about it. You go about it. What do you think of this? You know what I mean? Because if you go on, what should you do? What should we do? She's gonna be thinking, is it really like putting this on me? You know what I mean?
Well, think about it. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's also about knowing your partner. You know what I mean? You have to know where the lines are. You know what I mean? Where you should be able to be communicating more. Where you should be able to have discussions more. Like, let's say you're. I'll use us as an example. We live together and we're also going into a business together, right?
Okay.
So we live together. We're also going into a road of doing a business together. We just signed an LLC together. When it comes to matter of our household and our business, I would expect him to come and talk to me and be like, hey, this is the idea I have. What do you think about this? Should we do this? And blah, 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 blah.
Not should
well,
we?
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like in that scenario, the should we is okay.
Okay, I get what you mean.
That's what I'm saying. But like, I don't want you to come to me and be like, should we do this? I don't know what to do.
Of course, the demeanor.
It's the demeanor. It's what you're saying. Yeah. If you're coming to me with like confidence, and you're like, I have these ideas. What do you think? Should we do any of these ideas, or do you have an idea that may be a little bit better? That's where it's all knowing your partner, knowing the communication, knowing how to address it. Because you know me, if you come to me like that, I will be like, all right, let me think. You know what? I agree with you on this, but why don't we do this instead for this scenario? What do you think about that? But if I was one of those girls that don't really use her brain as much, I guess you could say. You know what I mean?
So
I don't
that's
know
what
how.
you say?
I don't know how
You
else
mean
to
they
say
them
it.
dumb bitches? Like, you know what I'm saying?
You wouldn't come to me like that.
Probably not.
You would come to me differently,
Yeah,
right?
probably not.
So that's where it comes to knowing your partner and knowing how to address these scenarios and knowing when to be respectful when addressing these scenarios. Versus a different scenario about, let's say, the bedroom. Let's say you want to bring up something that you want to try sexually in the bedroom. You're not going to bring it up with respect. You're going to be like, hey, baby, let's switch it around. Let's do this instead. Let's try this. And then you'll actually do it. And she'll tell you, ooh, I like that. Or, that hurts. Or, you know what I mean? There's difference. You know, you get what I'm saying? Like, there's a respectful way where you're talking about household matters and business matters. And then there's I would say somewhat respectful because you're not, like, going aggressively at her in the bedroom, but at the same time, you are being simp in the bedroom.
I think a better example would be like if not necessarily trying new things, but when you wanna like, for example, switch positions or like do things like that. Like you don't ask for permission, you just do it. Or if you want to do it, you just say do this or do that. You know what I mean? So in the bedroom, you have to actually lead everything.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because if you ask the woman, what do you want to do next? This position or that position? It kind of kills the vibe. You know what I mean? You just gotta do it.
Yeah, that's true. I agree with what you're saying.
But yeah, guys, that's all I gotta say for this video. This guy seems like he knows what he's talking about. If you have anything to say in the comments, the comments are always open. Tell us what you think. Tell us if you're wrong. Tell us if you're right. What you agree or disagree
Also,
with.
let us know if you want us to do more reactions to him or if there's somebody similar that you like in the comments below.
Like we said, DM us on Instagram if you want to give us video suggestion. Our Instagram handles will be in the description. Or you can leave it in the comments, but with Instagram, we'll actually get it, earlier and probably more likely that we'll actually see it.
And since we're back, ring that bell so you can get notified for our upcoming videos because we are now fully back in action and we will be uploading videos at least daily, right?
Daily. That's the plan anyways.
Yeah.
Alright guys. Peace out.